oh, Silicon Valley, everything's gonna crash, end is coming, winter is coming. Listen, there's no point for you to wait. You're gonna lose another 10%, if you're gonna lose money on rent. You're losing pretty much everywhere. The only thing you can do is just buy something. Invest, live in it, doesn't matter what. It's already been popular, but it's gonna get more and more popular because lenders like Chase, Wells Fargo, they don't offer these kind of loans. You need to be self-employed, and we're not gonna ask for any tax returns, pay stubs, no documents at all. We're just gonna ask for a bank statement from your business. So we're gonna talk about non-QM loans. You guys know all about agents, real estate, how to sell, door knocking, clients, comms, all that. But they teach you in your firms. But in terms of mortgage side, a lot of people don't know about it, and if you know that side also, you'll be much more successful, and you're going to be able to close more deals by knowing side of the loan side, how it works. I'm sure you know like a basic side, how escrow works, title works, but actual loan products, what's available on the market now, a lot of people don't know. So about Silicon Valley, it's a good conversation for the people right now, because I have comments on my social like, oh, Silicon Valley, everything's gonna crash, end is coming, winter is coming. But in reality, it's actually good for us in terms of real estate. So I cannot trust the bank anymore. If I have money right over 250,000, it's not going to be insured. Money in cash, I'm losing 10% a year on inflation. Stocks are volatile up and down, and if you're not into it, like every day you look at it, it's maybe not for you. So what else can I do? I only can invest in bricks, like in real estate. That's the only thing for you an investor or just a regular mom and pop. I'm bringing always Tatiana, we spoke about her client. It's just a lady who likes to buy, and she's afraid. What's gonna happen? And for the past 10 years, she's thinking if she's gonna buy or not. This is a time for us and you guys to talk to them. It's not about only, okay, talk to my lender, he'll talk to you. Agents can tell you, listen, there's no point for you to wait. You're gonna lose another 10%, if you're gonna lose money on rent. You're losing pretty much everywhere. The only thing you can do is just buy something. Invest, live in it, doesn't matter what. I had a client who came in to me and she said, we're currently renting, we pay like $2,500 a month, and my family from Ukraine comes in now, my mom, blah, 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 family moving. We're gonna rent a new house for $8,000 a month now. We need bigger space, and they can afford $8,000. So they're gonna pay $100,000 a year, roughly, in rent. And she said, well, just for 1 year, but then we'll buy something. It's not gonna be 1 year. Minimum $100,000 they will lose, but they usually might stay there more, a year and a half, 2, 3. So it's hundreds of thousands of dollars they're gonna lose without even thinking that. But some people thinking, well, the price is gonna drop. You think it's a good time to buy now? It doesn't matter if they're gonna drop. You're still gonna lose more money in rental if you're gonna stay there. So that's kind of our conversation with people, right? So we're gonna talk about non-QM loans. Anybody know what is it? Non-QM? Familiar with that name? Okay. Are you familiar with that? Okay. Anyway, so non-QM loans is basically, you guys need to know about it because this is, it's already been popular, but it's gonna get more and more popular because lenders like Chase, Wells Fargo, they don't offer these kind of loans. When you go to Chase, for example, you're gonna get FHA, conventional, standard. So if person's not qualified, they're not gonna give you a loan. This non-QM been originally done for self-employed people mostly, where you have a lot of write-offs, you cannot qualify for some reason. Non-QM, it's non-qualified mortgage. You have qualified mortgage, that's FHA conventional, and non-qualified mortgage called non-QM, where basically after 2008 crash, they created this rule. You're gonna separate QM or non-QM. How it works, basically, on the QM side, you have to show ability to repay. Why people will ask you, I got $1 million in the bank, I wanna borrow 100,000 from the bank, and they're gonna give it to me. I can just pay it cash for a property, but they're not gonna approve me because they wanna see ability to repay. It doesn't matter how much money you have, there's no logic there, it's just, you have to show that you have work and you currently make money. If you don't have that, you're not gonna qualify. So that's where non-QM comes from. They don't kind of look for any paper trail of documents in terms of taxes and stuff. So I'll just give you a few programs that you guys need to know about, and I'll give you also example. One of our agents that, she spoke with a person she met in some party, and they spoke, and he said, you know what, I just came to the United States, I'm unemployed, I'm looking, whatever, I want to be an actor, whatever, something, I want to be in Hollywood, but I'm thinking maybe I can buy something. My parents maybe help me or something. She said, well, she basically ignored him, that, she thinking, this guy not qualified, and no document, no credit score, stuff like that. I'm not going to waste my time on this guy and just basically pass on him. And he bought a $1.5 million property, and we did a loan for him. With another agent, basically, we did a loan for him where we didn't ask for any documents at all. Like, he didn't need a job, and just his mom gave him some money and 20% down payment, he was able to buy. And she lost on it only because she didn't pay attention to what he was saying. If she would ask him more questions, where is money coming from? Do you have down payment? This and that. Don't ignore that. She lost a good amount of commission just because she didn't ask the right question. So where NONQM coming from? So bank statement. I don't know if anybody heard about it. Bank statement program is kind of most popular right now for self-employed. In order to do this, you need to be self-employed, and we're not going to ask for any tax returns, pay stubs, no documents at all. We're just going to ask for a bank statement from your business to qualify. So basically, if you own a restaurant, for example, you have a lot of gross deposits that we can use as your personal income. We're going to deduct maybe 10-20% out of the total gross, but 90% of self-employed people qualify, but that they wouldn't qualify otherwise. If their tax returns are low because the person has a good gross amount, but low net because his CPA is trying to write off everything, so he's not going to qualify anytime soon, or he needs to pay a bunch of money to IRS next year, and you guys need to wait another year for him to qualify. So this is probably the #1 program right now for people who able to show 12 months of bank statements, and they can do it with 10% down payment. That's the minimum.
10%?
Yeah,
What about the rate?
So you guys have an understanding how, when you talk to somebody, if, let's say I'm talking to you as a client, and I say, you know what, I like to buy a first-time home buyer program, so you already know he wants to put minimum down payment, right? First-time buyer usually think they can afford 3%, 3.5% down payment. In my mind, I'm already thinking, okay, if you want to put less down payment, you need to qualify with your tax returns. That's the only way around. There's no way around it. You either show your taxes and show less income, less down payment, and you are getting the best rate you can. Today's best rate is what? 6.5, 7, based on today's.
Best case
scenario. If you're talking about non-QM loans, they're always going to be 1.5, 2% higher than market rate. So today, bank statement with, let's say 20%, you're going to be around like 8% interest rate. If it's 10%, you're going to be like 9.5. So it's higher. But again, people are confused, especially people who always been used to numbers of 3.5% rates, and I guess we're all here used to that. But I remember rates 8, 9, 10, so it's not as bad as it might seem, because they say marry the house and date the rate. So the house is most important that you guys can find, where I'm gonna be living with my family and enjoy the home. Rate will change. Today is 9%, next time is 5%, and imagine 3 months later it's going to be 15%. It's not going to change anything. We're going to use to new rates, and we're going to buy at 15%. You're still going to buy, or our clients. So it's irrelevant. You just need to get used to the new reality that this is the rates that we currently have. We're not going to have 3% any time, ever. Forget about, maybe grandkids will see it, but we're not going to see 100%. It's never going to go that. It was an anomaly of COVID times that we see 2.5 rates. It's never going to happen again, so don't even wait for it, or your clients. So yeah, so bank statements is super popular. It's a lot of people can qualify, and that's the only program that where you can put less than 20% down payment. That's 10%, but you're going to get a high rate. Yeah, but comparing to a person who has to pay $30,000-$40,000 to IRS to file more taxes and get a better rate, this is a good option for this person if he, needs to go that route. And we also talk about buy-down rates. I don't know if you guys heard about it, but I'll explain. This program allows buy-down. I'll talk about it later. The next one is profit and loss. A profit and loss program, it's same for self-employed. Most of these programs have been designed for self-employed. If a person doesn't have a bank statement, let's say he's an Uber driver and he does not have enough deposits, we can ask his CPA to prepare a P&L statement, profit and loss statement, where whatever this number will show, person will qualify. So if CPA say on paper you make $10,000 a month, we use $10,000 a month, whatever your CPA prepares it. So we're not gonna match to any bank statements or anything like that. So this is another great option for a person who would like to buy but do not have bank statements or enough bank statements deposits. Profit and loss. It's like debit and credit, basically. So this is on all of these programs that I'm going to talk later, that's 20% and up. So only bank statements allow 10%, everything else is 20. So again, when somebody's talking to you and they say, I don't have enough tax returns, but I like to apply for a first-time buyer, he's not going to qualify because you either put more down payment and don't show taxes, or you show taxes and do less down payment. There is a risk to the bank, so it's just logical thing to do. Next one, no doc. This is like the one I told you that the guy bought without pretty much any document. This is how it's called. It's no doc. You don't show where you work, what you do, how much you make, nothing. It's like stated income, if you heard about this program back in the day. But pretty much it's back. You have to put 20% down. You have to have good FICO score and a good amount of reserves. This is the easiest program out there. There is literally nothing we ask for. As long as person has, like I said, credit and 20% down, you're good. So if you're talking to unemployed, retired, person living on the street, but he has 20% down somewhere in his pocket, he's good. 9%. Yeah. And again, this changes, right? Rates, we'll talk about rates later, but it's all about risk to the bank, right? If they do not verify anything about you, they're going to give you the highest rate they can. When they can verify it, they can give you, but comparing to today's rate at 7%, 9% is not as bad as it seems, but I'm not saying it's great rate, but I'm saying it's...
It's like hard money.
No. It's 30-year fix but the point is that you're not going to be staying in that program for 30 years because rate will improve eventually. You're still going to refinance. So any person who buys now, 99.9% they're going to refinance next year. We're going to see better rates even this year, but there will be a point where they're going to refinance, and so that's the point. With our job right now is you have a low rate, people coming back to the market, and they're going to increase the price again as it was like 2 years ago. Rates are up. A lot of people went out of the business, out of the market. Now you can negotiate with the sellers to get discount, to pay for closing costs, stuff like that. So me as a buyer, it's beneficial for me to buy now at higher rate but cheaper price than wait for rates to improve and buy higher price but a lower rate. Because rate, again, it will change. The price will not change whatever I bought it for. So it's just, again, it's I'm pushing to this that we're in business of education. It's not that we are trying to sell something to the client. We're trying to educate them and build their wealth. We're just helping them with that. They do not understand. It's a big commitment to buy something. It's like getting married or buy a house. It's a big step that we're afraid to do. It's just
Human nature.
I was afraid to get married and stuff like that, and I was thinking about it. So it's or buying my first home and this and that. It's a big step, and they're afraid as anybody else. And our job is to educate them, not just to push them. Yeah, anytime you just buy it, just buy it. No, it's not about that. There's always benefits in buying in different markets. You get a better price or a better rate or whatever it is, but there's some benefits and some not so great things like you getting a higher rate, but this is what it is. So no doc program, again, if you're talking to anybody, you hear, I don't do anything, but I have 20 cash at home, 20% down payment, they can buy a house. Next one, VOE loans. So VOE loans, this one program that's designed for wage earners. So basically, all the other options designed for people who are self-employed, except no doc. No doc, we don't even disclose what you do. But VOE loans, it's if you work for somebody, we're gonna call your employer and say how much you make, and they say this person makes $5,000 a month. This is what we're gonna use. We're not gonna ask for pay stubs, W-2s, any documents at all. It's just verified by employer where the person works. So this program was designed for people who have not normal pay structure, right? They getting cash or some kind of checks that not reported to IRS or whatever. Restaurant or waiters getting tips, but they don't report them because they're in cash. But in reality, they make more. So if I'm gonna, employer basically needs to fill out a form saying that Alex is the manager, makes $20,000 a month. Bank will use that number. They're gonna just call and verify that, but it's a program for people who employed but cannot, for some reason, show their pay stubs and W-2. So this is also an option for them. You don't have to always be self-employed to do that, but you need to put 20% down payment also on this one. And again, rates on all of these programs are pretty much the same. On this one, I would say what, 7.5, 8?
8.5.
So
around that.
The range is like the more down payment you put, the better your rate you go. Depends on your FICO score. If you're buying a house or duplex or condo, it's all gonna make a difference in terms of rate. But 7.5 to 9, I would say this is the range on all of these programs. Kind of the last one is hard money loans. So we spoke briefly about hard money, that we manage a fund, that's our kind of big part of our business. People invest with us and we lend money to investors. But hard money side, it's great in terms of, I personally use it a lot of times. When you buy a property, you walk in and it's completely destroyed, really, but for investor, it's a great deal. It's not a great deal for owner user who like to live there, but for an investor, they want to find these kind of deals. No roof, something like burned out, whatever, but they get a discount. They use hard money. These loans close in literally 3-5 days. You have to put bigger down payment, 25 to 30% down payment, but it gives you ability to basically buy really fast. And sometimes if deal is, for some reason, there's an emergency and you need to close fast, or bank, like Silicone, let's say, Silicon Valley Bank closed down. And we had this situation in 2008 where bank closed down in the middle of transaction. What you do? It's closed. You remove contingencies, you in escrow, and the bank is out of business. They don't have any money. You do hard money just to kind of quickly close and then refinance, something like that. So hard money usually giving for 1 year, because you have to be also mostly for investors. And we will ask how you're going to get out from hard money. So it's easier to get them, but we need to ask, what's your plan to get out? And they say, okay, I'm going to refinance in 6 months. I'm going to sell the house. I'm going to flip it, whatever the plan is. So we will help them with that situation. Rates on hard money, let's say around 10% interest rate. So not as much difference as non-QM loans right now, but it's an option. Some agents use hard money to buy when you have when you have too many offers on one property. They write a cash offer, but in reality go and get a hard money loan in order to close fast. That's how a lot of times you will see you're going to be overbid by a cash offer, but in reality it's BS. It's just a hard money side. So not a lot of people have so much money to close everything in cash. So that's kind of a loophole that they might use. They just on a contract, they're gonna say, yeah.
For the hard money loans, do they still require an appraisal on the property?
No.
No.
Well, depends. 99% no. If it's like far away or like some area like investor doesn't know about, we might ask for it. But in general, no. We mostly care about, if you put your own 25-30% down, the rest is, it's doable.
It's the potential that counts, the potential of the property.
So cash offers, this is the thing to get out of the. Another thing, especially in these times, people come from, Russia, Ukraine, people coming through the border, and some people bring money with them, and they want to buy right away. And we see a lot of clients like that right now, that they can bring, whatever amount they can bring, and they want to buy it right away. We can help them also, and they can get qualified even without legal documents. Just cross the border, bring the money, and you can get a loan.
Quick question, how about the people who have money overseas? Because I have that a lot.
Yeah.
I have lots of Chinese buyers. We're just like, okay, we are coming with the right written offer, but they're showing statement from China or
That's
from
okay.
Hong Kong.
Yeah.
We're just considering that.
Yeah. As long as we're gonna translate it in English, we see that a lot.
Okay.
Like, again, we have a lot of clients, Russian, Ukrainian, Armenian, but Russian speaking basically. They transfer from European banks or Armenian banks, whatever. I don't care as long as
Because
I can understand
the
it.
seller is just like, no, I don't want to deal with that, or the transaction
Yeah,
can
that's
delay, blah, blah, blah.
that's the thing about not knowing. They don't know how it works. And seller, when you listing a property and seller, you have to bring an offer. Let's say FHA offer or 10% down payment, and they're gonna accept 10% down payment. But in reality, it doesn't mean anything. You can get denied same as FHA, but FHA is actually easier loans than any other loan. So it's just not, they don't know how, so either the agent doesn't know what he's doing on the seller side, plus seller doesn't understand anything about loans, but he's making the decision, accept it or not. So yeah, but overseas money, as long as money is there, it's good.
And we can paper trail it.
Yeah. So it's, as long as we're gonna ask for, for hard money, we don't care. We're not gonna ask for anything, like literally nothing. As long as they're gonna bring money to escrow, whatever at the time of closing. So that's, and we can give them LOIs, like letter of, like a pre-approval on the hard money side, where that's your client, a Chinese buyer, for example, they will know that what amount of money we can give them, and as long as, you find a deal, no problem. So yeah, this is, but what I was saying, for people who come right now through the border, they can get loans there. They either can get a hard money loan or they can get a foreign citizen loan. Foreign citizen loan is for basically how it's called for foreigners. We can ask for passport, visa, but if person came in without visa, like illegally, he needs to get like a hard money side loan and buy here as an investment property, and then refinance. It's all about situation. So let's say we recently did a client, he got like Bitcoin money, like he brought around 800,000 here with, he didn't carry it, but it's a link somewhere. They bought like $1.6 million property. They put 25% down payment, and we give them a loan instead of 1 year for 3 years. So they can get time legalized and get the credit score up so they can refinance. That was their exit strategy. So it's all case by case. It's not something, all of these are not like, we have 80 banks we work with, and it's not always like if one said no, another might said yes. So you can negotiate with the bank and tell them, listen, I have this situation, can you make an exception? So, okay, I'll do that. So it's not always straight, it's always ways of talking to the bank and trying to get a deal done. Okay, so buy downs.
Before you switch to buy downs, do you want to mention DSCR programs?
Sure, I forgot. DSCR is basically another popular option right now. You probably, if you're on Instagram and you have people saying, I got a loan, we don't need to do anything, and they're talking about DSCR. It's for investments only, and in order to qualify, you need to show the property will pay for itself. So basically, if you investor, you're buying a home, the mortgage payment is $3,000, and your rent will be $3,000, that's all the bank cares about. So you can buy unlimited amount of properties. We also don't check where you work, what you do, it doesn't matter. As long as property will pay for itself, then you can. No, residential. Well, on these loans, usually residential and commercial, up to 4 units is residential, over 4 it's commercial, but DSCR loans can go up to 9 units, right, I think? 9 units buildings, but usually we see like up to 4 people buying residential, duplex or condo, home, it doesn't matter.
Interest rate on the property?
Also like 8-9%. Again, depends on your It all depends on rent. So if rent will cover more than 1%, you get a better rate. If it's sometimes bank, even if you're going to lose money on it, they still can approve you, but will give you a higher rate. Why? Because a lot of people buy these properties for Airbnb, but bank do not use Airbnb income. They use long-term rental. So let's say long-term rental is low. It's usually lower than Airbnb. So on paper, you're going to lose money each month. But in reality, if you're going to do Airbnb, you're going to make twice as much. So for the bank purposes, they think you're losing. But so even sometimes rent will come in lower. Let's say Big Bear. A lot of times the long-term rental there is like $1,500 a month or it's
Big
really
Bear,
low.
Palm Springs.
Because nobody rents there. People either go there to for vacation, Airbnb, or people who actually live there. But nobody actually renting there. I mean, there probably somebody does, but not a lot.
It's a short-term rental.
So Airbnb, so Big Bear, for example, you're always going to lose money on paper, but Airbnb, it's a great investment.
What is the name of the loan again?
DSCR, debt service coverage ratio. It's basically the same as commercial. You're right. It's like basically when you buy in a commercial apartment building, they use DSCR, kind of similar calculation, but a little harder. But because here you can lose money on commercial, you need to make actually 125% of your rentals. So it's a little different, but the formula is the same, basically. So yeah, so this is kind of the one you're gonna hear a lot on social, where there's a hack how to buy properties without showing anything, but you need to put 20% down, and there's a hack.
As long as you have the money.
Okay, buy-downs. I don't know if you guys know what buy-down is. It's basically where it's called 3-2-1 buy-down or 2-1 buy-down, where seller, this is specifically for this market. Buy-down's been here forever, but nobody used them for 10 years. Now it's getting back. It's, for example, 2-1 buy-down, if today's rate is 7%, so you buying your rate, so today's rate, first year will be 5, then it's 6, and then comes to 7. So you get a discount of 2%, then 1%, each year is increasing. How it works, buyer cannot pay for it, only seller can pay for it, or agent. Well, we don't want to pay for it, so seller's paying for it. So basically, when you make an offer and you get a discount, let's say you offered, 500,000, it's listed for 500, you want to offer 490. And let's say they're going to approve you. Buyer will only save like $30 a month, for that 10,000. But if you're going to still buy it for 500,000, ask for 10,000 closing cost, then he can apply this 10,000 to buy this rate, and he's going to be saving $400 a month, for example. So this is a good thing, especially now, because we see sellers are accepting discounts and they're okay giving credits and all that. So this is a good tool to use for people who like to get that. If they planning to, so after year 3 or 2, you're going to get to market rate, but again, you can refinance while you're still going to refinance next year. Next year, we're going to see like, I don't know how many refinances. Everybody who buys for the past year, they can refinance. So it's kind of short-term patch for people who like to just pay lower and using seller credit for that instead of discount on the price. Because discount doesn't give you much savings than buying a lower rate.
Mm-hmm. What is the seller interest in that? He just like because they want to sell?
Yeah.
Or
No. So he already give you a discount. Mm-hmm. So basically,
it doesn't matter to him which way he gives it.
Yeah. Either he's gonna sell you for lower or give you credit. At the end, he's still gonna get his 490. Mm-hmm. But either that's how we're gonna structure it. But that's your side. When you're making an offer, instead of you talking to a client and say, listen, instead of, I can see like, for example, this property been on the market for 60 days. They want 700,000. Let's offer them 680, for example. Mm-hmm. You technically know that they might go for it. Or you spoke with the listing agent and said, you know what, give me an offer, any offer, I'll accept it. So talk to a client and say, listen, instead of giving $20,000 discount, let's get $20,000 to pay all your closing costs and give you a lower rate. Mm-hmm. So for the client purposes, it's this idea rates are high, it's non-existing anymore. Mm-hmm. Rates are not high, buy a lower rate, buy 5% interest rate to you and use it. So that's an option that for people who are waiting for lower rates and something. So either you're getting discount plus you're getting lower rate. So it's a win-win for the buyer. For the seller, he already lost that 20,000 anyway.
Yeah. So you can
Yeah, and the thing about it is if, let's say it's only been a year and you're refinancing already, you still have a part of that credit tied up with your current mortgage because you did the buy down. What the lender will do, they will apply it to principal reduction. So your client will not lose that remaining credit if they refinance within the first year.
So yeah, for example, that 20,000 that they got, it goes in escrow account. Escrow, I'm talking about not our escrow, but lender's escrow. And they're gonna hold this money and somebody needs to pay for it for the discount, right? The bank still wants their money, so they're gonna deduct the difference from that credit. So if you refinance after $7,000 you already refined, that difference they're gonna apply to the client and give him extra money, basically, to pay off his loan.
Reduce the pay-up amount with that.
Okay, where do we see rates will go in 2023? We got some questions from people about this. So
Tell us.
rates, so basically I don't know if anybody follows Barry Habib. Try this guy. He is a legend in our loan side. And he's been right for many years. So it's based on him and many other people that you know, again, coming back to education, people, our clients listening to, CNN, whatever, any TV that's always gonna tell them it's good, it's not a good time to buy, it's always bad. When rates were lower, don't buy because it's a very high price. When rates are higher, don't buy because rates are higher. So he's saying that we're gonna see this year rates about 5 to 6%. I'm talking about full like QM loans where we show taxes. So meaning the other loans will also follow. So if we see 7% now, we're gonna maybe have point and a half lower in rate. It might go, it might be a dip and go back again, but we'll see those prices. So if you guys want to follow this guy on Instagram, he's giving good info about strategies for agents, how they can use these things like buy downs and all that, the strategy to apply in real estate transaction. It's pretty cool.